Sup guys, Zeke and Maker here, the Bully Boy himself, coming at ya with another episode of Trash Talk with Bully Boy. Thanks to our sponsors, Krakatini Beef Jerky. Krakatini Beef Jerky is the best beef jerky on the market. Check out their socials, put in an order, and tell them that Zeke sent you. Krakatini Beef Jerky. ZG Criminal Law. ZG Criminal Law is the premier criminal lawyer in Perth, and she has the funniest social media. If you're in trouble or just like memes, look her up. ZG Criminal Law. Today, we have a dope guest. He is a well-established MC in the Perth hip-hop scene. He has released 3 albums in the past 8 years, with his latest album, Like I Give a Fuck, fresh off the press. He is a real good mate of mine. He's the one, the only, Sever.
Alright, what's up, Sever?
What's cracking, little Zeke, man? What's cracking, the bully?
Yeah, how are you, bro?
Oh, you know, as good as I can be, working away.
Yeah. Cool. So, with this coronavirus shit happening all the time, like we're in this lockdown. So, how are you staying occupied in this coronavirus lockdown?
I don't have much of a choice. It's either at home with the kids, or I'm an essential worker, which makes me feel special. So I'm currently up at site at the moment on a 2-on-2 roster. So I'm up here for another, I don't know, maybe 12 days. Hooray!
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much just working away, which I'm not complaining about. You know, I'm fortunate. I feel very blessed to have a job right now in this situation. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that just bought houses because the interest rates were good and stuff, and now they've got no income and no job. So, you know, my heart goes out to them. You know, I'm pretty blessed to have the job that I have. So, yeah, I'm not complaining about it at all. You know, I'm happy to be at work. I'm happy to be getting an income still. You know.
Yeah.
Still been on Centrelink. No Centrelink for me, not once.
Yeah. With your 2-on-2 work, what do you do up there? Like, what do you work up there?
So I work for Rio Tinto, and I'm a production operator. So I operate shovels and diggers that about the size of a 2-story house. They're not the biggest ones that are out there. They're only 4,000s, but we are getting 660s soon, which means nothing to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's same with my dad. He instead works for Spino and works on the trains. Pretty cool. That's 2-on-2. So because of all this coronavirus stuff, you have to do 2 weeks apart.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because they're trying to reduce the flights and people traveling, etc., and all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, usually I do a 2-on-1, which is all right. But you know, after I get my house, I think I'll look for an 8 and 6.
Oh yeah, nice. So you have actually just dropped your new album, Like I Give a Fuck, and that blew up heaps. So you must be proud of yourself for that to like blow up so big.
Well, yeah. Well, like I guess I haven't really felt proud about it until today. Like I had a convo with Grievous, who you interviewed not long ago, and he made me feel pretty good about it. Grievous has always been like a bit of a big brother to me, and I know that there's very little people in this world that I trust, and that I have a pretty tight circle, and Grievous is one of them. And so when he'll tell me, and he was honest with me today, you know, and he told me, and he said, you know, like, I'm proud of you, you should be proud of yourself, kind of thing. It's a good album, you know. And I honestly didn't expect the reaction that it did get, for sure, you know. Like I didn't think it would do well at all, but I wasn't really thinking about that when I released it at all either. But yeah, I'm stoked with how it's been received, and how many people it's reached out to. A lot of people have hit me up and told me how much they relate to some of the singles I dropped, like Doused and Balance Beam. You know, like yeah, which was dope. You know, because it kind of takes it back to basics for me about why I started doing music as a form of therapy, and that's what it's been for people, which is great. You know.
Yeah, I'm also pretty proud of OSO because I was a part of the OSO with the music video of Doused, and I thought that was pretty dope how I was in it.
you did a killer job too. Everyone always tells me, and I forget to tell you, but everyone always says to me like, "What a little G you are!" Like, especially some of the guys at work that you know, they support me and they like to watch the stuff when I put it up, and they're like, "Oh, was that your son?" I was like, "No, it's like one of his mate's son, you know, everything like that." And he's like, "Oh, what a little G, you know, he killed it, did a good job, you know, and you did do a good job, you know, and I'm happy that you were part of the project. You killed it. Thank you very much."
Yeah, cheers, man. I remember seeing, Common Class. He did a reaction on Doust, and he also thought that that I was your son. I thought that was quite funny.
Well, you got a mean mug on you, so you could be my son. It's easily mistaken.
Yeah. So you've been rapping for quite a bit of time now, Sever. So how old were you when you first started rapping?
Man, I remember the first time I heard Oz hip hop, I was like mad young. I was in primary school. A guy that used to do like freestyle BMX. So I was around his house and he showed me some. He'd fit like old school torrent site like LimeWire or something. He downloaded just like a bunch of things, and it took me for ages to track down the actual releases. And I went to like JB Hi-Fi in Cannington and actually bought. I remember I bought, I think, Celsius. I bought Lyrical Commission, Bias B, and I was just hooked from that time. And I remember I was crook one time. I'd run away from home, and I remember Jake One had just dropped that Tipsy song, and there was a single on it, and I was listening to that, and I just started writing, and I used to remember the whole thing, but I can't remember what I wrote anymore. Like I don't even remember the first couple of bars, but yeah, it was probably something like 2000 and let me think, maybe 2005. So the first rap I probably wrote proper, like first song, was probably 2005. So I would have been about 17, maybe, when I first actually put together a proper song. Otherwise, before then, I used to just muck around with it, freestyling and such. You know, like kind of like Grievous. You know, like Grievous was used to just freestyle and stuff and all that kind of stuff. I've never been a great freestyler myself, you know, but yeah.
With that first song you were talking about, do you still remember how that first song went on with? Like, what was the first song about?
It was about there was this guy that man, he used to give me mad hassle, and we'd have fights all the time at school, and he just always like I'd get him, he'd get me back, kind of thing, you know, but he's one of those guys that just, no matter how much you could beat him every single day, and he'd just think, "Oh, I just had a bad day, I'll get you today," you know what I mean? Like, but I remember it was just it was like some gangster shit, like it was just like, because it was like the Jake One beat that had that feel to it, and it was like you know, you know, kind of thing, and it was like I can't even remember it, man. It's like, when I think of this life, it hits me in the heart like a jagged edge, double blade, Swiss Army knife. But I take it, grip my teeth, and I pry it, load it and fire it in all directions, ducking civilians with pale complexions who should have invested in a bulletproof vest or a brand new spling because you just got shot. I can't remember some shit. It was like some fucking like immature gangster shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So when you were just first starting in the rap game, who was your biggest inspiration?
Man, like I a lot of people will be like, oh, you know, like Eminem and such stuff like that, which is true, you know, like, you know, Eminem, Pac and all that. But I actually got into Australian hip hop before American hip hop, like, because I come from a poor family. We didn't have like stereos and all that kind of shit. Only music I heard in the car was like a jam tape that'd been stuck in there. I think it was like Billy Idol or something like that. And yeah, I never listened to much music. Everyone would talk about stuff, like, didn't watch much TV, so I didn't have much exposure to it until you know, like I went around that mate's house when I was in primary school, and so it was straight off the bat, yeah, like, you know, LC for me was huge. Like even like they did that song for J Red as a DJ. That made me. I've got this love for DJs in me because of that. Like they kind of set that standard of like of the way that it used to be about how DJs were there was MCs and then there was DJs, like, because like when you can talk with your hands with vinyls and you're switching channels and shit like that and cutting it and just grabbing it on time, like DJ Red, man. J Red is just like yeah, he's dope. He's definitely. I tried to get him to do cuts for Bloodshot Eyes, but he never got back to me. So no surprise, And I'm not gutted about that, like. And I don't think he's really like an essentially a hip hop DJ. I think he just likes the craft of turntablism, which is the correct terminology for it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Who's your inspiration now? In today's place, yeah.
It's hard. It's a hard question for me because I keep my music like I keep my people. Like I've got a tight circle and I've got like a small circle of music that I kind of go to. I listen to all sorts of music, man. Like I'll listen to Elvis, I'll listen to Billy Joel, I'll listen to Cat Stevens. That's because of Tess. She's opened my eyes to a lot of like really good music, but and then anything to like Run the Jewels and shit like that. I don't really listen to specific music, but I think what really inspires me, I think, is just seeing dope rappers, like hearing something and going, oh, that's min, that hits just right. All those the syllables are perfect and neat. Like I really enjoy the craft of lyricism opposed to just rapping, because some people, they don't get that your flow, your words are an instrument in the beat, like in the instrumental. And so when I hear someone that's flowing nicely, someone like Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole. J. Cole's so good at like just kind of hitting it right, but obviously I'm in a crew with one of the best rappers in Australia as well, debatably one of the greatest rappers in Australia, and yeah, like it's inspiring to hear good lyricism. I think, to answer your question, that's what inspires me is good lyricism.
Yeah, man, that's good. My inspiration is Mr. Grievous, cause one time, like me and my mate Kai was over at my house, and for some reason me and him, we came up with the idea to nag my dad, and we were like playing with Clay. Ironically, his name is Clay, and we were playing, we were making like stuffed Clay, and then Kai was listening to mumble rappers at the time, because that's when mumble rappers were all cool, like Lil Pump. And me and him were like listening to that for no reason, because it was cool at that time. And then my dad showed me Mr. Grievous, and Mr. Grievous did a freestyle for us, me, Kai, and my sister Sky. And it went like, hello, young players, better ride a dime. Shout out to these little homies, Kai and Sky. My name's Mr. Grievous, Clay Brance's mate. Fat round stomach with a handsome face. Said you like Lil Pump, but this dude's better. If I see that little chumpy's getting robbed for a Gucci sweater, pow. And me and Kai, our minds just blew up. We thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I still think it's the coolest thing ever. And he got me and Kai into like Aussie hip hop and actual good rappers. And yeah, it was really good.
I think it's great that you remember it, and Grievous has always been a dope. There's a video somewhere where we were like drinking. We're over in Melbourne for the Robert Hunter Cup, and we were just freestyling. He's just good. He's a good freestyler. I appreciate good like freestylers. Like Omac's great, Cogs is good, Shell's good, and that's not me just like on the dick of my own crew. Like they're good. It's the same with Grievous. Grievous is a good freestyler. I love to see that. Like there's a cool video too of Omac back in the day. Had this there was this guy that had beef with him, like from where Omac's from in Beachborough. And but if you YouTube it, it's I think it's Omac versus Raztech. It was back in the battle days. They're meant to be doing this written battle, but anyways, one of this guy's mates were like freestyle, freestyle, and Omac just killed it. Like you can tell, like it's all organic and it's just mint, and it's like one of the first things that really kind of like drew my attention to Omac. Like fuck yeah, he's dope. You know, like I first saw Omac at I think it was Street Dreams in Midland. He did a set with Wish, and they did some songs which ended up coming from I think Role Models. I think it was Role Models. I hope I got that right. Yeah, like yeah, I love freestylers, and that's Grievous is good at that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I reckon they're like super cool because they can just come up with a rap straight away by just like some certain thing, and I reckon it's super dope. I actually saw a thing on Complete Story when they were doing the Death Rattle tour, and Complete was just like doing this freestyle. I can't remember what it was about, but I remember it was pretty dope freestyle.
Me and Shell, well, I mean, me and Complete, we used to do the exact same thing as what Grievous was saying about with his mate when they were younger. But me and Shell have always I've always beatboxed in his freestyle. Like there's a video. I don't know if you've seen the video. There's a video of me, Shell, and Bitter in a car, and yeah, it's
Funny.
it's
funny.
He's good. But yeah, I can appreciate a good freestyle. I seem to only be able to freestyle in front of Medusa well. There's something about her that brings out a smoothness in me. But other than that, I think too much about everything, like the syllables and everything rhyming properly to actually be able to freestyle properly. It's something you got to practice.
Yeah. So your rap name, Sever, that's a pretty dope name. So how'd you come up with that name?
I think it come from so what my rap name used to be. It used to be KKT Sever, and the reason that was this explains where the Sever come from is because I was diagnosed with bipolar when I was I think 15, and so I saw the KKT as my initials. They're not. I changed the C's to K's. And the Sever being the other side of me, so it's kind of like so you got Clint and then you got Sever kind of thing, and that's where it started. And then I decided before I started to drop Hooligan Lagoon, I thought to myself, people kept on saying KKT server and not getting like I don't know where they get the extra R from. People are just illiterate fucks sometimes, but yeah, I just decided to cut it down and Sever. I mean, it's not the most original name going. It's like, but I mean, I'm sure there's heaps of rock bands called Sever, or there's probably another rapper called Sever somewhere. But it's just what I stuck with, and yeah, there's no real amazing thing behind it other than it's just the bipolar.
I really do like that name. I reckon it fits you good. And would you still use the same rap name if you were just coming into the rap game now?
Oh, good question. Because I've thought about it before. I've thought about if I was going to change my name, what would it be? Because I've even contemplated releasing music under a different alias, I come up with a name once. I can't remember what it was. It was something. I can't remember what it was. It was something Tucker or something like that, or I can't remember. It was something that sounded like Chuck Norris. It wasn't Chuck Norris though. But well, I did. I thought about creating an alter ego and just releasing music and just for the fuck of it, But I don't know. If I was coming in now, I might come up with something. Who knows? I mean, who knows? I could have ended up being Little Sever.
That would be funny. So you've released 3 albums, Hooligan Lagoon, Bloodshot Eyes, and Like I Give a Fuck. What's your most favorite song you have released, and why?
Man, it's hard. being bipolar has its advantages as well, like where it's I release a diverse catalog of music where it's not all just the same sound, you know. Like sometimes you can listen to a rapper, like I love Vinnie Paz, but sometimes if you can't listen to a Vinnie Paz playlist because they all start to blend into the same song, almost, like they start to kind of just sound the same. And so I do release an array of music, but I can't think off the top of my head what's my favorite. I mean, I'd have to say, it's too hard. Like some of my favorites are probably Doused, just because it's very open and something that I needed to do for a long time. Cherokee, it's it's a very important song. Geez, I can't really think of my favorite. I make music for me, like a lot of the time. So I like the songs that I'm doing. Like I love Cabarita Road. I love Bloodshot Eyes. You know, like Cherokee. Yeah, Tony Soprano, which I've got to put back up on Spotify since DistroKid fucked me over. But yeah, I don't know. What's your favorite song that I've done?
Honestly, my favorite is Batter Up. Just cause it's real good.
It's like it's always the songs that do the best that you end up hating, like because I think it's because you perform them so many times. But it's like,
true.
do you know what? And I take my hat off to Bitter, because Bitter was in a transition long before I was of awareness and stuff. Like in that clip, if you notice, you watch it, he's kind of the one that's not really holding a baseball bat the whole time. Like when I did that track, like that was it kind of stuck. That was my steez, you know what I mean? Like I love baseball. I could have played baseball like competitively. I stuffed up when I was a kid, you know, like same with my older brother. My older brother had a throw in him like you wouldn't believe, you know, like, and it just kind of came in. I carried it into my music, you know, like, and I did that at in Carrying Up that clip and stuff, and but yeah, like it's something that like I was still growing up, you know what I mean, like, and Bitter. It's people mistake a lot of musicians by their music, you know, like Bitter's got a massive back catalogue of like something like 9 mixtapes or something like that before he even dropped albums, which is absolutely crazy. He's definitely one of the most slept on, underrated, but best, you know, musicians in the country, I think. And when I first heard of Bitter, people were bad mouthing me saying, "Oh, he's fake, this and that," you know, yada yada. You know, and it's easy when people say that to kind of go, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah." But you listen to his back catalog. I've seen it. You know, like the first time I met Bitter, the first time I remember like becoming friends with him. Like he was getting mobbed at the Railway Hotel Frio, and I just jumped straight in. Like his music was just so street and raw, and that's what people. And then as soon as you start not making that music, people go, "Oh," or people get this idea like, "Oh, that's who he is," and they meet you and they go, "Oh, you're so." You know, you seem like a tough guy, but you're not, and stuff like that. But it's not about that. Like watching Bitter grow as a musician has shown me that like not only the personal growth that he's had, but like is that being staunch isn't having weapons or getting in smashes all the time and shit like that. Being staunch is about being staunch when you need to be. Like be a good person, be nice, be helpful, you know, look after your common, you know, your friends, you know, everyone like that. Say hello to people when they're walking by and all that kind of shit. But when you need to be staunch, you know, you be staunch, you know what I mean? Like it's not about that shit, you know. And I had it all twisted, you know, because I was just like that all the time, you know. I felt like that's how I had to be. And even when I was struggling with my mental health, you know, it's like you always got to put on this facade, you know, like, you know, don't come near me, I might smash it, you know. But it's not who I am. I'm a nice guy. And it's like what Grievous was saying with the yin and the yang. You struggle with the bad, you struggle with the good, you know. Like it's just the way that it is, you know. And I feel like I've gone like carried on like an old man. I don't even remember what the question was, but yeah, like what was the question again?
what advice do you have anyone what advice do you have for anyone that makes it in the rap game today?
I swear that wasn't the question, but the answer, I've got a good answer for that one.
I can't remember.
Um,
I actually can't remember.
That's right, because you said Batter Up was your favorite track. And I was just
yeah.
You see, because because it is a good song, an anthem. It's a good anthem, but it's a bad influence. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't advocate that today, and that's why I made the track Ego on my album. Like I told on my new album, I got a copy.
Ah.
I purposely on the back I put I did Steve's Revenge, which is a story that happened in 2007, loosely based on the events. I did Ego straight away, because I wanted to tell that story, because I've always had that song there but never released it, and I put the Ego one out because it's about like it's the ego is what people. It's like you get all these people that like it's like social media feeds ego hard. You know, people have to look good. People have to have this certain life, and they want to portray that to you. You know, like, and it's like a lot of these rappers. Like it's like they're advocating like drug abuse and violence and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want people to think that that's exactly what I'm doing with my music. Like, yeah, I'll release. You'll rarely hear me now release a track saying I'm going to smash someone's head in or anything like that. Like this album I did, I did Steve's Revenge, where it's like it's telling a story that happened, but I don't advocate that shit. Like it's fucked. Like no one should be like that. We're born with the two basic emotions of love and like we feel love and pain. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like everyone just wants to be understood and appreciated and loved. You know, like, and like I don't really advocate people can misconstrue like, for example, with the Batter Up thing, I had Sunrise hit me up trying to get me to do an interview because some woman was saying that her son in Warnbro listened to my music, and that's why him and his mates beat up some guy with baseball bats. And they said, "Oh, she's saying this, but we know you as a musician. You're a musician. We want to give you the opportunity to come explain everything and all this shit." But I knew it was a trap. They just wanted to get on there and just pull me apart for making violence invoking music, you know what I mean? And as you get older, like you start to kind of realize that an artist, you have a responsibility to your audience, you know, like you can't just, it's like a lot of these rappers, they like with all this drug use and all this kind of shit, some of them probably don't even do it. They probably just do it because it's a fashion, you know what I mean? And so, but what they're doing is they're pushing that fashion and what's looked at as like acceptable and what's popular onto kids, and kids are doing that, you know. And I got a lot of love for your dad, man, because he's got a lot of time for you guys, you know. And he's sure he does everything with you guys, you know. He shows he's taking you outdoors, you're doing all this kind of stuff. You got your martial arts, you know, like, and anything that you're focused on, he pushes you towards, because there's a lot of shit dads out there that are like, they do the whole toughen up, yeah, grab a beer, get a beer for you, old man, you know, all this kind of stuff. Or they see their parents doing drugs and all that shit, you know, like we need more people like that around, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying about with the music, you know, like, yeah. Go on a tangent.
Yeah. So with that question that I brought up, I thought it was the wrong question. What advice do you give to anyone that wants to make it in the rap game today?
Be real, like, definitely, like, be true to yourself, because it's that old saying, you know, like, don't write checks that your mouth can't cash, you know, because don't write checks that your ass can't cash or something like that. I don't know, but it's like people will check you on it, you know what I mean? And you're not doing yourself any favors. And another thing is get good at your craft. You know, a lot of people they'll like they'll record a track or something, and they'll put it up and they'll tag everyone in it. They'll tag 99 people in it, and they'll tag all their favorite artists and all this kind of stuff. And all that does is it draws people away. Like, you might get people listening to it, but the majority of people, they just go, man, oh, that guy's annoying. And everyone talks and goes, it's annoying as fuck, you know. Get good at your craft, you know, and then just put it out there and let it organically happen. Let it happen, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And yeah, don't expect to get rich, and don't expect, have all these expectations of making music. Just make it for yourself, because it's like a lot of these kids, they watch MTV, they watch all their favorite rappers, and they think that we're all living in 2-story houses and driving fancy cars and shit like that. It's like, it's not like that, you know. Make sure that it's a passion, not something that you think, oh, I'll give that a go. That looks like it looks like I could get some good attention with that, or something like that. Yeah, make sure it's something that you love and that you're passionate about, because I tell you what, like, and that's something that listening to LC, like Lyrical Commission back in the day too, you know, like they talk about a lot of like they see a lot of you know, people come and go in the industry because they come and they think it's a quick fix, like they can just come in, that they can just get, and you know, and like, yeah, get, just like they think that they can just get a lot of recognition, and it's just an easy game. Like, oh, I can buy a mic, it's so easy, I can do everything from home now, you know. It's not like back in the days where there was multi-track recorders. Artists had to spend thousands and thousands of dollars in studio time, and you know, or they were just doing it, and to even to get the studio time, they had to record on little tape decks and stuff like that, and push their demos and stuff. But now people can just buy an M-Box, they can buy a mic at home, and they can just do it themselves and upload it. And that's why there's such, it's good for them, it's good for such saturation and stuff, but a lot of people, it's just too easy for, they just get into it, and yeah, they just expect too much from it. And a lot of promoters will prey on people like that because they know that they're keen to get on stage. So, you know, we used to have dope hip-hop nights in Perth, but then you get promoters that'll be like, you know, oh, well, we'll give you stage, we'll give you, they'll perform, you perform for free, so they'll put you on, because you're like, oh, once I get on the stage, I've made it. You know, you get on stage, like, yeah, I'm killing it, I'm on stage, I'm doing shows, you know, I'm going to get paid. But you're going to get paid. If you're going to perform for free, and something that I learned, and Hunter, you know, rest in peace, before he died, he always get up me about giving music out for free. Like Hooligan Lagoon, I started giving out for free when I first printed it. And he was like, don't do that shit, because you're shitting on people's hard work, because people are putting out products and they're trying to sell it. You're giving it out for free, and then people expect it for free. You know what I mean? Like, and the same with performing. It's like, don't perform for free, you know? And the way that it used to be is that you'd have a bunch of dope acts that have proved themselves. And at the start of the night, you've got a slot that's an open mic where a rapper would come in, and they'd, you know, they'd get a slot. And if they did well, then they'd get a proper slot and they get paid. And you get paid, you know, accordingly of wherever you are in the set. You know what I mean? It's not like that anymore. Yeah. But, you know, thankfully, because of the independence of it all, because everyone can do it themselves, you eventually see that you don't need promoters. You can do it all yourself. You know, there's no reason why you can't. And that's what a lot of us do now, is we're just independent 100% and organize our own stuff. And, you know, obviously when you get to a certain level, though, you might need some help and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, man. So where do you think you will see yourself in 5 years?
To be honest, I have this thing in my head that I'm going to die of a brain aneurysm. I always have. I know it's weird, but I've always had this, I've dreamt about it, and like, I have this feeling that I'm going to die of a brain aneurysm, like one day. I don't know when, but hopefully in 5 years I'm still alive and I have a house for my family, like, because, you know, shock horror, you know, my album did well, but I didn't, you know, I don't own a house. I'm still paying off my car. You know, I'm working away up in the mines, hoping to save enough to, like, a decent enough deposit to be able to get a house on a low interest, you know, for my family, so my kids have a place to grow up in and aren't hopping, you know, every 6 months like I did as a kid, and, you know, a place they can call home. That's where I want to be, you know. And music-wise, I don't know, you know, like, I always think to myself, fuck it, I'm done with music, I can't give a fuck anymore, you know. But then you just, when you're passionate about it, you can't help it, it's in you. you'll hear a beat and you go, oh yeah. It's like Insidious. I got to stop following him because he puts up a dope beat all the time, and I go, oh, maybe just one more. You know, like it's just who you are as a person. You don't stop writing music. You know, that's how you can tell the long haulers from the people that are in it for the wrong reasons. Is because you just keep making music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I say keep on going, man. You're doing really good. You're doing really good with your music. Like this last album, super good. The other day, I was just non-stop listening to that. But I can't give a fuck. Yeah. Okay. So that's all. That's all for today. Thanks for coming on my show, bro.
Oh, what's going on in your life?
Oh, my life. Well, I've been doing this. I've been. Yeah. We got some mats up down this in this room, and we've just been doing training down there.
Yeah, nice, because obviously with all the social distancing and all that kind of stuff, you can't be doing your proper training and stuff like that. But yeah, all the best with that, man. Like it's good to see you doing, like same with Sky, you know, like both killing it. It was good. I came and watched you guys. Was it in Mirrabooka?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I think it was Mirrabooka. I came seeing you. But no, yeah, it's good, man. You know, keep doing your thing, and it's, you know, like you killed it with your Bloodstained Nikes verse at Shell's All Ages show, and you did it effortlessly without even one stuff up. I remember in my early days, I stuffed up so many times on stage. You know, like you see all the people and you stuff up, but you absolutely nailed it. It was natural. It was good, and it's good that you're keeping busy during this isolation and stuff. You know, your old man's showing you tricks and stuff, starting fires, throwing axes. Glove gun.
Yeah, with the All Ages tour, I brought my friends Kai and Caden, and when Complete came out, my friend Caden, he was like, "Oh, bro, you're up there soon. You're gonna be doing Bloodstained Nikes," and then that just got me like, I was super nervous at the start, and then that just got me even more nervous. But for some reason, once I got up on stage, like. I didn't feel nervous one bit. Like I just felt like good up there. I felt natural up there, and yeah, it was good.
You looked natural as well. It was good. It was really good. You know, like no, you keep doing your thing, man. You're motivated. You're driven. You're positive. Keep that. It's a special thing. A lot of people don't have it. A lot of people just are happy to sit and play video games all day long. You know, like it's good. Never lose that. You know, and you got a good role model. Your dad's a good guy. It's good to, you know, and your sister. You know, you keep doing your thing.
Yeah, cheers, man. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for coming on, and talk to you later, bro.
Tweezy, brother. Catch up.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, and thanks for Sever for coming on the show. Really enjoyed yarning with you, man. And thanks for my sponsors, Krakatini Beef Jerky and ZG Criminal Law. They're the ones you got to look out for. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. So.